Alright class, so this video is basically going to be a quick video on how to do um, almost everything in chapter 2 for intro to programming. This will help kids that are um, that are either they missed the first few days of the unit, or they are kind of some AP type kids who plan on skipping the introduction to programming class. So you guys should all have your Schoology class. So first unit, Unit 1, Introduction to Programming. A few things you want to look at. There's a Google Slides presentation. This will explain a lot a lot of the things that I'm going to go through on this video. You got your chapter 2 reading. You want to read your chapter 2. These are just the Cornell notes that kids that are enrolled in the Intro to Programming class, they need to take notes for this for a grade. But if you're one of those AP bound kids, you don't have to take notes because you're not going to be graded. And then we'll look at the programming projects here in a little bit, so maybe I'll just open those up real quick. And here, let me get signed on to this so you can kind of see what your programs that you need to write will look like. These are both the intro to programming students and the AP bound students that are skipping intro to programming. You'll want to do those. And then this programming skeleton, which I've already opened. Quickly for the kids that are the AP bound that aren't in class, you're gonna want to download NetBeans at home. My AP kid, or my intro to programming kids, you'll have this blue type cube. This is your NetBeans IDE. You'll just open that up on your desktop screen, and you'll be able to program. But for my AP kids who may need this download at home, if you Google NetBeans JDK, say enter, the first link, you click on NetBeans plus JDK bundle. You click on that. You accept the agreement. You figure out what version. You're probably on Windows 64, so you just click on this, and once you click on this, you execute it. You just say run, and it should download everything to your desktop, so you'll have access to NetBeans at home, so you could do your programs at home. Alright, so in here, first thing, we got this programming skeleton. Alright, so what I've tried to do is to get all the kids on the same page. When we're building a program, this is a skeleton model that could work for just about any program that you build, okay? Let me put on this, I like using this ink pad screen sketch. Okay, so I can write over things. So part of programming is you're turning English language, basically English language problems, into machine code. And the English language is really descriptive, where Java, the Java machine language is it's not very descriptive. It's very precise, and you kind of got to follow the rules. All right. So when we set this up, the first one we're going to create, and I'll show you why we call it Hello World, because it's our first program. It's always our first program. Our first program, its class, is going to be called Hello World. Okay. And for the class, this would actually be main. Sorry. I'm screwing this up already for you guys in here. Where's the eraser? Is that the eraser? Yeah. Let me erase this real quick. Oh, let's go back here. It would be main Hello World. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to do this here in a minute. And the class would be called Hello World. Okay. And so A is the class name. Well, this is the class name, so this would be hello world right here. Okay. B is the object name. When we create our objects, I just tell kids use the class name and do my hello world. So it's the same name, only I put the word my in front of it. So that would go in section B. Okay. Then we got the object name, or sorry, the class name again, which is hello world, and that goes right there. And for D, we got the object name, which is my hello world, that goes there. And we got this thing called a method, and a method would does something, all right? And so for these first programs, we're always displaying something. So display, and I just say display what, excuse me, display what you're gonna display, okay? So display hello world, okay? And that would go in section E. And this looks all messed up because I didn't have enough room, but I just wanted to go through that go through that real quickly so that you can come back to this thing. So let's do this. Let's go into NetBeans. Actually, let's open up a sketchpad real quick and talk about what a class is and what objects are and what methods are. All right. All right. So I don't know what this is. All right. So let's say we had something called a planet. Okay. And a planet has so this is going to be called a class, okay? Now a class is a representation, sorry, of something real, okay? So a planet isn't really something real, okay? It's just the idea of something, okay? But from that, we can start stamping out objects. So let's say my first one would be Earth. Okay? This is an object. So an object is real. Okay? Earth is a real planet. A planet is just an idea of something. Okay? You know, I could create, I don't know, what do we want to create? Mars. Okay? So there are millions of examples of this stuff, so let's do another one. Let's kind of erase everything here. And well, it'll be faster just to create another sketch pad. That sucks. Okay, almost done. If we delete it, yep, there we go. So let's say we wanted to create a car. Okay, I want to create a car. Do we want to create a car? Let's delete that. Let's say we wanted to create a vehicle. Okay, now a vehicle may have like a color. A vehicle may have, let's say a vehicle does something called drive. Okay, and I put those there for a reason, because I talked about a word called a method. But from a vehicle, we can create a truck, and from a vehicle we could also create a like, I don't know, a sedan. Or let's do a van. Let's do a van. Okay. So this is the class. Okay. It's again a representation of something real. You could also think about it like a set of blueprints. Okay? And the reason why you'd want to create it, you think about it like a set of blueprints, is because blueprints aren't real. Okay, again, blueprints are like an idea of something, but but you would need them to build something that is real. So, like a house, you'd have a set of blueprints that you would go through before you built a house. Now, this right here, all vehicles can drive. All right, so this is a method. And methods are represented with this right here, okay? And a method is a group of statements that does something, okay? Methods are action words. Drive means it's going to drive. That's doing something, all right? So a truck could have specific things to it that a van doesn't have. But what happens is the truck inherits the color and drive, and the van also inherits color and drive, right? But the truck may have a, suspension of some sort, okay? Because suspension, okay, so suspension, trucks got to do, they got to load heavy things, so on and so forth. A van has kind of like a cargo door on the side, right, to get, the kids in, cargo door or something like that, all right? So a van and a truck are different, but they would have what's in common as a vehicle. So, and you see these kind of hierarchies everywhere in the animal kingdom, like I could put up their parent. So this is a good one. This is a parent, and this is the child. Okay. So again, and these are both objects. Okay. And if you really want to get technical with it, there's no such thing as a truck. You'd have to have a specific type of truck. So like a Ford F-150 or I don't know what kind of vans there are. So this is a little bit of a background of how Java works, okay? So let me close this. And let's look at the... Alright, so... the Chapter 2 programs. It says, write an application that prints hello world. So part of this chapter, it's a really easy chapter, but what you're really trying to do is you got to write this stuff out without having any help, okay? And you got to really kind of understand the structure of NetBeans, all right? So I'm going to go through that, and we'll write the first couple together, all right? So, and if you weren't in class, this is the stuff that I demo for the kids. So, if you're in NetBeans, okay, you have something like this. Now, if it's the first time, you don't have any projects over here. But if I say File, you got to click File, New Project, and this window pops up. All you do, you should automatically be put on Java and Java application. Don't touch anything. I get kids that want to change things around. Should just be Java for categories, projects, Java applications. So you say next. All right. if you're at school, you need to browse to your H drive and set up um, a intro to programming folder. The H drive is specific to your server. If you just we put on the C drive, you could lose it. But since this is my private computer at home, I'm just going to keep it on the C drive. I don't have an H drive. So project name, always main, and then hello world, or whatever you're trying to create, okay? So that program right here said to print hello world, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to call it main hello world, okay? Always use main for this first one, all right? So I say finish. What that does is that's building a project for me over here. It says main hello world. There's a orange Java cup. You can click on this plus button to open up, and then you should see source packages. So click on source packages, and you should see this yellow Rubik's Cube looking thing, okay? I call that the yellow Rubik's Cubes. You open that up, and you got the main hello world Java class, okay? Main hello world.java. That's this file that just opened right here. It says main hello world, and it says main right here. So whenever I tell kids, get into the main file, this is the main file, okay? Don't get that confused with the class. To create that, you get on the yellow Rubik's Cube main hello world, okay? And you right click and you say new Java class and call it hello world. And you say finish. Okay? That creates this right here. Now notice, I kind of went through this programming skeleton with you. When you first write programs, you're always going to want to come back to this. Okay, so in main, okay, notice I have main hello world right here. Main hello world. So you go inside, this is a method right here. Now all these different words, public static void, public class, you do not need to worry about those for a long time, okay? All you're trying to do is write the codes that I'm giving to you. So in here you always have to put A down. What's in section A? Well, what's in section A is the class name. The class name I create is hello world. Okay, so I put that right here. Hello world. Then I do a space. And then in my skeleton I go back. What's in section B? B is the object name. Okay, the rule I always tell kids, use the class name and put my in front of it. The class name is hello world, so I just say my hello world. Then you have to say equals new, and then in the skeleton, C is the class name again. The class name is hello world. Okay? And then you have to have an opening and closing parentheses and a semicolon. Then what do I do in my, let's look at this. Then what do I do? In my programming skeleton, section D says the object name. The object name is what I created in section B. So B and D are the same. So my hello world, because I created, this was my object name. Dot, and now section E is a method name. What I tell kids to put down, the method's going to do something. In this case, it's going to display the word hello world. So I'm just going to call it display hello world. Okay? Semicolon. I have an error here. It says method, what is it? Cannot find symbol method hello world. You will always have an error when you create your program like this because you haven't created the display hello world in your class yet. So let's go do that. In hello world, let's look at our skeleton because I always want you to go back to this so that you guys can memorize this and write this out by hand. It says public class, and this would be the class name, which is hello world, and it says public void and the method name. Well, we just create our method name called display hello world. So let's do that. So we'll do public void display hello world. Okay. Whoops. I kind of screwed that up for you guys. There we go. And all this is going to do, now we inside here we do system.out.println, and we say, in quotes, hello world. Okay? And press play and run it. The green play button, the green run button is what compiles it and runs it. Okay, down here you can see it says hello world. You just wrote your first program that displayed hello world to the screen. Okay, now let's play with this for a little bit, alright? Let's do print. And I'll say system.out.print. This is my first program. Okay, if I run this, hello world, this is my first program. So what the print method does is it prints hello world to the screen, and this is where kind of like your cursor ends, and then it says this is my first program. Okay, but let's see what happens when I change this to ln and run it. Ooh, what happened? It printed hello, this is hello world, and then since it's an ln, it acts as like an enter button in Microsoft Word. After you press it, it goes to the new line and it says this is my first program. Okay? So you just learned two different methods. Print prints it, prints whatever you're printing, and then it puts your cursor at the end, and then the next print prints. ln prints what's in here and then goes to a new line, and then at that new line you have what's printing. Okay, let's say I did a -n in here. Whoops, wrong way. The -n and -t are called escape sequences, and I'm going to show that. So what does that do? Hello world -n, it's an escape sequence that acts as an enter button, so it goes down to the new line, finishes up printing world. It's an ln, so it goes to the new line and prints this is my first program. Okay? How about this -t? Okay? Hello world, this is my, and then -t acts as a tab. So the reason why those are important is because you may want to format your data, okay? Alright, let me see how long this video is getting, okay? Because I want to do a couple more programs for you guys. Well, can't figure it out. So I'll just write a couple more for you guys. So in here, we've got name and box. So the next one, write an application, prints your name inside of a box. So let's do that. So each time you do a new program, file, new project, just say next here, call it main name in box, main name in box, finish. Okay, you've got your main name in box project, so you open that Java cup up, you open up the source package, you open up the yellow Rubik's Cube, and you right click and you create a new Java class called name in box. Okay, so you got main name in box, that's got main right here and here, and you got name in box, which is your class. Okay, so this is my class name, name in box. So you go in here and you look at your programming skeleton. Okay, see section A, it's class name, it's name in box. So you type name in box space. Section B is the object name, so that's going to be my, and then the class name, which is name in box. That equals new name in box. Okay. Sorry, this was section C. I can go into the folder. Now you got D, you got the object name, which is my name in box, dot, and then we're going to display a method right here, section E. So we're just going to do display name in box. Okay. Now, I kind of went through the hello world quickly, but what did we do with this? What this line of code right here does, and you're going to have to memorize this because you're going to have to write this out by hand, but what this is doing is it's creating an object, my name in box, from the name in box class. Okay? Let's see, did I delete all the vehicle stuff? Okay. So here's a truck. We could say vehicle truck equals new vehicle. Okay, what that did is it created a truck from the vehicle class. We could create a van object. Vehicle space van space equals new vehicle. Okay, that's all we're doing. Now, I always tell kids to use my name in box because I have to get 30 kids in a classroom to be talking the same language. But you know, and just to get basic routine so that you guys can memorize this stuff, okay? So anyway, in my name in box, if we go into the programming skeleton, we have public class name in box, and we'd have public void display name in box. So let's create that. So we got public void name in box. Okay, and so right here we'd say system.out.println. Okay, these semicolons, they end statements. A statement is like a sentence. In English, you end a sentence with a period or an exclamation point or a question mark. In Java, you end statements with semicolons, okay? So we'll do this. We'll say a bunch of dashes, and we're going to have to formulate, or we're going to have to come back and kind of work with this. Okay, so I'll show you how I do my name in box. So I use a pipe, which is a shift and then the button above your enter button. So it creates a pipe. So hold shift and then press the pipe button, okay? So I'm going to say Mike Seeley. Right here we'll do another dash. And then we'll say system.out.println. Okay, and so if I run this, oh, whoops, I really screwed this up. There's an error. Display name in box. So the object calls a method, and the method is called display name in box, and it doesn't exist until I have display name in box. And now when I run it, Mike Seeley in a box displays. Okay, let's do one more. We'll call it a hexagon. Yeah, let's do a hexagon. We'll display a hexagon. File, new project. Just say next, and call it main hexagon. Finish. So then you right click on that and say new Java class and call it, oop, I screwed it up. Nope, call it hexagon. Say finish. Okay, so I get into my main. I look at my skeleton in section A. I use the class name, which is hexagon, and I say my hexagon equals new hexagon. Okay, and then my hexagon dot, we're just going to display hexagon. Okay, so in the class, we'll say, or in your programming skeleton, we'll say public void display hexagon, and now we're going to get this bad boy to display. Now you're gonna have to format this thing. I don't know if this is going to look that good, but whatever. I don't know. Does that look 1, 2, 3? It's got 6 sides. I don't know. Let's look at it. Let's see. I don't know. It looks all right. Nothing great. There's a bunch of different ones. You could do an octagon with 8 sides. Hexagon is 6, I believe. So I think I created that right with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you could create really whatever you wanted, right? And if you really kind of wanted to, kind of play around, you could have something like that. Maybe you create, your O's or your different letters. The reason I'm demoing this is because your programs that you're required to write are the diamond, the star, and your initials. Now, don't use mine. Use your own initials, okay? But you can do that in here, all right? So that's basically the first chapter. For those of you that either missed days or you're trying to get from the intro class and skip that and get into AP. If you can write these all basic display stuff from scratch, you're good, and this chapter, should be easy for you. So anyway, go ahead, practice, and get a hold of me if you need me, all right? Bye.